Good evening, and welcome to Numpty News, the only bulletin brave enough to ask, if you can't label a map, should you really be trusted with nowt sharper than a crayon? Tonight's top story: absolute scenes at a global conference after a US government map of Africa reportedly managed to mislabel every single country, which is a bit like opening a pub and accidentally serving gravy through to lager taps. In a moment of world-class administrative bollocery, officials displayed a giant chart so wrong it looked less like geography and more like someone had fallen face first onto a placemat after 6 pints of cloudy cider and a head injury. Shocked readers told Numpty News it was embarrassing, grim, and the sort of thing our Darren would do if you gave him a marker pen and left him unsupervised near a photocopier. Our first witness is Trevor Spudworth, male, freelance conference sign hanger and part-time van napper, who says he knew summit were off the minute he saw the big reveal. Trevor described the room going quieter than a tax inspector in a pie shop. Told ya, didn't I? Soon as that sheet came down, I thought, that's not a map, that's a cry for help. I've seen better labeling on freezer meat in Brenda's garage. Right then, let's get started. Numpty News understands delegates stared at the chart in the same haunted way Brits stare at motorway service station sausage roll that's sweating through its own wrapper. Experts say every country had been incorrectly named, turning a major diplomatic display into a sort of international tombola of guesswork, panic, and laminated nonsense. Enter Deirdre Clagbucket, female self-appointed Atlas enthusiast and dinner lady emeritus, who reacted with such force she nearly dislodged a potted fern and one of her hips. She told Numpty News this wasn't merely an error. It was an assault on basic schoolroom common sense.
Oh, love, they'd have him back quicker than you could say compass rose. That map's about as useful as a chocolate teapot in a heatwave. You send our Kevin with that, and he'll come out tied up in knots and a warning stapled to his blazer. You're right. It's absolute gobshite, love.
Officials have reportedly taken full responsibility, which in bureaucrat language means somebody in a lanyard has sighed heavily, opened a laptop, and started drafting an email containing the phrase, "Lessons will be learned," while learning absolutely none. In scenes reminiscent of a Village Fate PowerPoint made by a hungover ferret, the chart spread online, where millions pointed, laughed, and asked whether the next map would label to moon as Barnsley. We then spoke to Colin Wozak, male, junior visual communications consultant and accidental printer jammer, who defended the process with the confidence of a man who's never successfully assembled a deck chair. Maps. Shapes all over the shop, right? Edges pricking out like Auntie Gladys's knitting needles. And one country slides off to the left like it's had one too many brewties. Not my fault if a border went a bit wibbly after a biscuit break. That's geography on a Friday afternoon, innit? All right, let's break that down a bit, shall we? You're talking about a very particular kind of anybody here. A sleep-deprived badger wearing a tie and using PowerPoint with its backside. That's a pretty unique scenario. It's clear you're highlighting how outlandish and unlikely this situation is. Anything else you'd like to add or explore about this colorful description? Right. And finally, Mavis Drizzlethorpe, female, owner of the Conference Tiern and emergency custard coordinator, summed up public fury as only she could, by threatening to whack the next idiot with a rolled-up leaflet and deny him access to 2 mini pastries.
If they can't spot Africa on a giant map, I'm not letting them near to biscuit tray. Next, they'll be labeling the teapot as Belgium and the fire exit as Norway. Daft buggers.
So there we are. An international conference, a colossal map, and enough cartographic clowning to make a sat-nav drive into a canal out of sheer shame. That's all from Numpty News, where the standards are low, but by L, not that low. And to ensure that you don't miss out on tomorrow's Numpty News, please subscribe.